What's up, travelers? You have found the podcast that is here to explore the world. We are 5 travel experts, hooked on our trade, and ready to share our tales from around the world. You're listening to the Where We Roam podcast. Without further ado, let's roam. Hello, roamers, and welcome to this week's episode of the Where We Roam podcast. My name is John, and I am joined again by 2 ladies, Dana and Megan. Sean is having internet issues on the other side of the planet today, so it's just going to be 3 of us. How are y'all doing?
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Oh, I'm crushing it. I'm actually really excited about this week's, what's the right word I'm looking for? This week's topic. Mm-hmm. And it is an action-filled episode. We wanted to get this out. That's the reason why we didn't reschedule, so Sean could be here. But what we're going to be talking about today is all of the news coming out of D23. I shouldn't say all the news. We're going to talk about U.S. theme park news coming out of D23.
Yeah, the highlights.
In addition to everything we're about to talk about, I will make a quick note at the top that they did announce, I think, 4 more additional DCL ships in addition to the ones they've already announced that are already in development. So we've got, what is still coming out? Destiny's coming out, Treasure's coming out, Adventure over in Asia. Then they just announced the one in Tokyo, going out of Tokyo or out of Japan, that's going to be ran by the Oriental Land Company, the same people who run Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea. And then there's 4 more, which will bring the grand total to 13 is the number that I saw most recently.
That's a lot of ships.
They're going from just having 4 for the longest time to 13 in a matter of like a decade. Yeah. That is a huge change.
Yeah.
So
I think they got to keep up with the market. I mean, the market is expanding and cruising is hot. So I think it's really smart for them to add more ships.
I think that cruise line is probably their most profitable area of the business right now in the company. So why not, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's uncharacteristic for them to release them so quickly. It seems like they've been slow. Yeah. Like you had Magic and Wonder for a while, and then like the Dream and the Fantasy for a while, and it was a long time before Wish, and it seems like it's been a long time now since Treasure. I don't know.
Those were spaced out a couple of years.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be happening really quickly, a lot at one time, which seems unusual for them. Doesn't seem in their nature.
It is a little quick. I think I was expecting maybe another decade or 2 before they announced like more ships beyond the Destiny, right? Because we already had those announced. So, but they just keep dropping more ships. So I'm excited for them. I think it's going to be cool, and
it's gonna be good.
Maybe it'll bring some prices on the legacy ships down a little bit. Perhaps we'll see.
I hope so. And more ports, maybe. It'll open up some more ports.
It will. And more departure. More places to go out of. Exactly. So that being said, we're going to dive headfirst into the news. We're going to go park to park and talk about all the news across the United States. We're going to start at Disney World in Magic Kingdom. And with our first news story, the first announcement, and this is the thing that's probably coming soonest out of all the announcements. Dana, go ahead and take us away.
So the Magic Kingdom is going to have a new nighttime spectacular in summer of 2025. So next summer, it's going to be called Disney Starlight, and it's going to be a magical experience with characters from classic Disney films as well as newer Disney films. And it's going to kind of build on the legacy of Main Street Electrical Parade, which has been in California for a little while, but now it's kind of on a break. So it's going to be very similar to that with the lights. And it's going to have cutting edge technology, fresh stories, and it's going to have a blue fairy that's going to be telling, kind of like guiding the Disney Starlight. And it's going to have Peter Pan, Encanto, Frozen, much more. So lots of new experiences for you to see at the nighttime level at Disney World. Instead of just having the fireworks show, we'll have, replacement for Spectro Magic, Main Street Electrical. I think it'll be better.
So excited.
Honestly. I think it's going to be better, the best of the 3.
I hope so. I really loved, for a while in California Adventure, they had, I forget what it was called, but it was a nighttime parade that was phenomenal. And I'm hoping they really pull from that, like what they learned doing that parade in California Adventure. But the Main Street Electrical Parade will always have my heart. That is
I'm
like
a Spectro
the music.
Magic girly. I'm a Spectro Magic girly.
I grew up in Southern California, like California, like Disneyland California was my park. It was where
Yeah.
I remember being 5 years old and watching the little like bugs that go in circles,
yes.
like the snails coming down
Yeah.
Main Street. And like, I still, every once in a while, if I needed that hit of like dopamine, like the nostalgia dopamine hit, I'll put that music on from the Main Street Electrical Parade. I'm just like, okay, takes you back,
They just
Kinda
had the
like a sound or a
anniversary of
smell.
that not long ago. I was actually there the year that they did the
They brought
anniversary.
it back to Disneyland, and they have had it in Florida as well for a
Yes.
while. In maybe like around like 2010, to like 2015, somewhere in that. It was there for a few years. So I'm excited to see what this is and when it comes.
Hopefully it meshes the two together. I feel like it'll be.
Megan, do you have a favorite?
Nice. Main Street Electrical for me.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's totally fair.
No one loves Spectral Magic, huh?
I've only seen it a couple times, honestly. So for me, it's just like the nostalgia of the past one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's the same for me, John.
Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to jump to maybe the biggest news that came out. I think maybe this is the biggest news, but some of the biggest news that came out of D23 for the parks, and that is Magic Kingdom is actually going to be getting the long-rumored Villains Land. And the sinister new realm will immerse guests in a world of darkness and intrigue populated by iconic Disney villains. And the video vignette that they published had everybody from Scar, Cruella de Vil, Maleficent, all of that. And if you look at the artwork, and we'll throw that up here in post, you can see a Maleficent dragon in the background. This land looks cool. It is definitely a little bit more blue sky than some of the other images that have been released. So I think this is definitely going to be coming later. But they're saying it's going to feature 2 new attractions, dining, shopping experiences, and it's going to be a huge departure from like that classic Disney experience of like Fantasyland. I think this is going to be the yin to the yang of Fantasyland, and I think it's going to be so fun.
There's nothing like it currently at Disney World, so I think it's such a great thing to add. We're used to the fluffy, nice fairy tale of Disney, and to add this villain land, it's going to be fantastic.
I totally agree.
Just don't know where they're going to put it. I just want to know where they're going to put it.
It's beyond Big Thunder.
So that space back there,
that huge space, so they may have to redirect the train. I'm not sure what they're going to do with all that, but it'll be back in that section. Speaking of things that are going close to Big Thunder, why don't you go ahead, Megan, and tell us about the next news story out of D23.
So coming in early 2025 is the current goal. Lightning McQueen and Mater are coming to Disney World, and they're coming to Magic Kingdom, specifically Frontierland. So, I love Cars Land over in California Adventure Park in California. So the fact that there's 2 new experiences, 2 new rides coming to Frontierland, I'm thrilled. It's such a highlight for young kids, but there's going to be, a more adult focused ride and then a younger kid ride. So I think it's going to have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I think we should also clear up. Construction is going to begin in early 25.
Yeah.
So that's that. Yeah.
So starting in 2025.
You'll start
right.
seeing them fill. So now the interesting thing is where they're putting this. So I thought it would be set back on the backside of Tom Sawyer Island, between Big Thunder and the Haunted Mansion. But apparently they're filling in all of Rivers of America and putting this smack dab in the middle of Frontierland, which seems wild to me. What are they going to do with the Liberty Bell?
I don't know. That whole area, I feel like, needs to be just rethemed. I mean, I love it, but at the same time, that whole area just needs an update. I feel
it needs a refresh.
Liberty Tree Tavern, Hall of Presidents,
you got to realize the park was built.
I get that.
Close to the bicentennial, and that's why we have Liberty, like that whole Liberty Square area. And I don't know if they'll actually get rid of that, but this is going to be interesting. Like, I don't know how I feel if this, and it's definitely, from what I can tell, is that it's going to be very similar to Radiator Springs Racers, the ride, the main big
which is huge.
Ride.
It's a huge
giant ride.
Yeah, such a great ride.
It's a big space.
Yeah.
But it's going to be rethemed to more of like a wilderness, which I guess kind of fits in Frontierland.
I get that. I get how they can put it where they're putting it. I just don't know how it's going to fit there, because if they're doing Radiator Springs, that is such a huge ride.
It won't be all of Radiator Springs land, just the racer part.
No, but the
it's still
racer
huge.
part is still huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think the
think that
mountains are a
it's-
part of that ride. Like that's going to stick out. I'm not exactly sure
Yeah.
how this is going to work.
Well, if you look at the one image, we'll put it up here when in post, you can see Big Thunder as one of the mountains in the background of the range.
So maybe they kind of
So
build
I think they
onto
will
that.
use the existing stuff to make it look like, I don't know that they'll put the whole facade up, but they'll probably do like a big center facade in the middle,
Right.
and then you'll see Big Thunder beyond it. It'll be interesting to see it because this new thing may be blocking, the sight lines
to
that
the
would go
castle.
into not even the castle, but the sight lines to villains from there. So otherwise, you might see the villain stuff from Frontierland.
Yeah.
This may block that. So it may be strategic. We'll see. I'm excited. I love cars. I think they can bring a whole Cars Land here if they really wanted to, but I get why they're just doing this. And they say a second, like younger kid ride. I wonder if it's going to be like that Luigi's.
It's going to be similar. I
little
bet
thing like
that
that, you know.
trackless technology that they have on that ride.
Yeah, it's a fun little ride, and it kind
Which
of
is
whips you
good because
around a
that
little
area
bit.
needs that. Because when you have kids that are too small or too scared to ride Big Thunder or Tiana's, there's nothing really for them to do back there. So this would be a good option for if you're rider swapping and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's mosey on over to Hollywood Studios. And I'll go ahead on this one and take it because this is probably the least exciting thing at Hollywood Studios. But, for some people, it's exciting. The Mandalorian and Grogu, they're going to be having their own big screen movie coming out in 2026. And in time for that, at both Disneyland and at Walt Disney World, we're going to be getting a new storyline on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, fully incorporating the Mandalorian and Grogu. And it's going to coincide with the film's release. I think it's going to be fun. My family already loves this ride. I think it'll be fun to have a new storyline to go with it. And I'm assuming they're going to still keep they're not going to change like the animatronics and stuff of like who's sending you out on the on the adventure. But I think you're going to, the storyline when you're on your mission is going to be focused on Grogu and the Mando. So
yeah, I like that.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
they need to bring more that's their most popular stuff right now with the Star Wars properties, the Mandalorian and Grogu. Bring them in.
Yeah,
it makes sense. All right, like I said, not the most exciting thing. The next
I think it's exciting. That is exciting. I have two big Star Wars fans in my house, so this is a big exciting thing. But yes, no, the next thing that I get to talk about is the biggest surprise, I think, in Hollywood Studios for sure.
This is a big surprise, and we'll talk about where we think this is going to go. But go ahead.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so Hollywood Studios is about to get a whole lot funnier because we have a whole new land themed to Pixar's Monsters, Inc. And guests will be transported to the world of Monstropolis, where they can interact with their favorite furry friends and even take a thrilling ride through the iconic Monsters, Inc. factory. The new land will feature the first ever suspended coaster at a Disney park, promising an unforgettable experience for guests of all ages. And it says work on this project is slated to begin next year. We don't know if it's early 2025, late 2025, but be ready because it's going to be amazing. Super excited about this. Now, where they're putting it, I know is up for debate, but I think everybody has a really strong opinion about this.
So the two places that I think that are being thrown around on the internets in general where this might be is either going to be in, which I think makes the most sense, in Animation Courtyard. Right now, where you have like the Star Wars launch bay, and you have the Disney Junior. I think that whole area works perfect for this. If you look at some of the artwork,
it's underutilized there.
It is right now,
I think
for
it's a
sure.
good spot.
It looks like it could fit there very easily. That being said, a lot of people are seeing all of the brick work on all the buildings, and they're saying that is giving off major Muppets vibes. And that makes, I know some people are like, good riddance. I know Dana's like, see ya Muppets. But it just makes me sad. I love that attraction. I think it's fun.
I know.
But I understand. But it may go there and replace that and Star Tours maybe. We'll see. I think there's been some other rumors on the internet that don't make sense just based on like physics and size. What do you guys think? If you had to guess, where would you say it's going? If we're betting, we'll come back here in a year or so or whenever they announce where it's officially going.
I'll say based on what they already have. Back there behind the Muppets is all that space that's not being used, where the Osborne lights and stuff wasn't that back there?
Part of it was. Part of that space is now Galaxy's Edge, but yes.
Yes, so I feel
It's
like
the
they
Grand
already,
Avenue area.
Yes,
yeah, I think that's
I
what
feel like
call
they
it.
kind of already have some of the facade and the buildings there. It doesn't make sense. They would have to start kind of more over from scratch.
Baseline Tap House, all of that is already that
Which
city
I think
vibe.
you can work that into, you can work that into Monstropolis, and Baseline Tap House is a huge draw. It's delicious. Mama Melrose, is not.
You could retheme that really easily.
Yeah, but
into a
it's
different
already
ride or a different restaurant.
Restaurant's already built there. They're permitted for that. Like it doesn't make sense.
They don't have to build a new restaurant, right?
Correct. And then you have to get kitchen stuff in and all of that. And you think about how they're going to load all of that stuff each day, stock and pallets of food and things like that. So for me, it just makes more sense to have it in that area.
Yes, and you also have Pizza Rizzo by now.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, in the announcement, it doesn't really mention restaurants, which makes me think it's going to go.
Yeah, but even if they, I don't know. I feel like
there's no courtyard. Animation Courtyard doesn't have restaurants, which makes me think that this is, if they knew it was going to go in a space that already has two existing restaurants, they would have announced
I think
that.
they're missing an opportunity for monster themed snacks. And
they
monsters,
could do snacks.
I don't know. I feel
we'll
like.
See. So you think it's going to go where Muppets
100%.
is, which is totally valid.
100%.
Especially, the last, couple trips you go there and they've they've closed the Muppet,
the store,
the store, the merch place. So
that's because they've been scoping it out for monsters.
They might be. All right.
Yeah.
Megan, if you were a betting lady, what would you say?
You're not going to like my bet because I'm like 60-40. I feel like I feel like Dana's on the right track. I feel like it really does fit better in that area versus over, Star Wars Launch Bay and Disney Junior characters. Although that space is great, I'm not sure it exactly fits that area. So I'm more 60% leaning the other direction, not Star Wars Launch Bay.
I'll say I'm 60-40, the opposite.
Really?
Only because if you look at the wide shot that they have released of the building itself, of where the ride is going to be, there's a lower area with a low roof line and then with a monsters thing on top. And if you look at Star Wars Launch Bay, it has a lower roof line and then a center part on top. So just based on the architecture of the Launch Bay, and they would use the Launch Bay, in my opinion, for the queue and theme, and then they would build the actual indoor attraction behind it, where there's some crew, cast members behind it, or not cast member, cast member space behind. I think that's where they'll build the physical ride.
I think they're also trying to keep the Pixar stuff kind of together. So, do you remember the old entrance to Toy Story Mania? It was on the other side. I wonder if
there's just no space to build anything back
there.
No, for a ride.
Yeah. It connected to Muppets. Didn't that walkway connect over to the Muppets area? They've got it shut off now.
You used to walk over, not to Muppets, yes, over to the Streets of America, which is that part now backs up directly into Galaxy's Edge.
So
if you go straight down that road, so you're going down the old entrance. So on the right side is
Toy Story Mania,
the ride building for Toy Story Mania. The left side is the ride building for the Great Movie Ride, which is now Mickey Minnie's. So you're already surrounded by existing rides. So nothing new can go in that long.
That would be the walkway into.
But then there's a road there, and then immediately on the other side of the road is Galaxy's Edge.
Okay. I was just trying to think how they could kind of put it close to
I don't know if they'll connect it to Pixar or not.
To keep it all themed. Because you have, I don't know.
Maybe I think that they may do a portal that takes you to Monstropolis.
Maybe so. Because I feel like Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge just kind of there's no real transition.
Very poorly. No, there's a good transition.
It's a transition, but no theming transition.
No, there's a good theming transition from the other way though. If you're coming from Grand Avenue, it's you go through a subway tunnel, and then it turns into almost magically turns into rock work. That's cool.
Yeah. So I feel like if they put it over there though, that would separate it.
Yeah.
From Galaxy's Edge, so it's not just an afterthought. I don't know.
We'll see.
Time will tell. Time will tell who's right.
I'm excited to see what they do.
Should
All
take
right,
bets.
Megan. Let's move over to Animal Kingdom. This is actually going to be one of the projects that is completed first. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Beyond
I'm
just
really
like a parade.
excited. And I feel like Animal Kingdom is due for a little bit of an expansion. So
Yeah.
some more things to be added there. So Animal
Correct.
Kingdom is expanding into a new land called Pueblo Esperanza. So this 11-acre area will transport guests to the heart of tropical Americas, featuring lush environments, a large hacienda, and a unique carousel. The crown jewels of this expansion will be 2 new signature attractions, which will be an Indiana Jones adventure exploring a mysterious Mayan temple and an immersive Encanto ride through the magical world of the Madrigal family. So additionally, Animal Kingdom will also debut a new show featuring the beloved characters from Zootopia. So this very exciting expansion is set to begin construction later this year, with the new land opening in 2027. So it's hard. Like there's all these exciting things coming,
Yes.
yet we still have to wait.
I know.
Years.
I
For the
know.
big
Years.
stuff,
So
the
frustrating.
land expansions are going to be years.
Yeah, because they're immersive,
Um,
right?
Yes. I mean, and
Mhm.
this is what I like about this. So for those who don't know, they are going to be taking over Dinoland USA, which
Mhm.
people have complained about the theming of that area for years.
Well,
It went
part
over
of
people's
it.
heads what they were trying to do,
I like the
trying to make it
digging
feel like a
thing.
pop-up area. The dig is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But like they tried making it look like there's this archaeological site, and that's where
Mhm.
and then there's like this whole like university, not university, but like a institution, whatever,
Yeah. Dino
where
Institute.
institute, thank you, where they conduct, research and time travel, all that. And then there's like the dig. So this is like this whole dig area. And then the other area where Primeval World used to be,
Mhm.
it's kind of like a pop-up carnival theme where like a roadside attraction. Like, so you think like whenever like there's like people just really quickly throw stuff up in parking lots, that was the vibe it was supposed to look like.
Which it
The
did.
intention, it did. And it looked cheap on
Mhm.
purpose, but like
Yeah.
it was cheap, but quality, if that makes sense, because it
Mhm.
needed to withstand the weather and be permanent. So I think that's hard to accomplish, and they did it. But people did, I think it went over everybody's heads, and it was just underwhelming for most people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they cleaned out Primeval World, what, like 2 years
Oh,
ago?
And that thing was
Yeah.
gone in a minute. Like
During
I
the
was there
pandemic,
when
it
they
was like-
were when they were tearing it down. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and it was gone. Like the next day, gone. Poof. So
Yes. So in that area, the Primeval World section, that's where they're going to do the Madrigal ride,
Mhm.
the Encanto ride. And that ride is going to be based on the day that the youngest family
Is it
member,
Antonio? Yeah.
Antonio,
Mhm.
gets his powers and his power.
He talks to
Mhm.
animals, or he can
Yes.
communicate with animals.
And this is when he gets his room and all that. And it's going to enchant some of the household furniture, and you're
Mhm.
going to be going on the ride. We're not sure if it's going to be trackless or riverboat ride. We don't know what it's going to be,
Yeah.
but you'll be transported on like household furniture that's been enchanted, and it'll end when you go going into his room, which is actually like a jungle, and
Mhm.
that is how they're going to tie in all the animals,
Yeah.
which I think is a cool way to tie in Encanto into the tropical Americas
Mhm.
Animal Kingdom theme.
It's going to be interesting to have Casita like there, because is the ride going to be inside Casita, or is it going
I
to
think
be?
that's the queue. Like, I think that's where you
Okay.
go in, and then the
Mhm.
ride will
The
be
ride will
behind
it. Okay, so it's just going
Yes.
to be the facade.
It'll
It'll
look
be
like, it's a facade, like Small World's facade. It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
it is, or
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion. The Haunted
Mhm.
Mansion, if you look at the show building, is like 10 times the size of the facade.
Yeah. Well, it looks like at the rendering that it's going to be kind of up, elevated. It would be really
Yeah.
cool if they can have it like in the movie. I thought I remembered, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. That it was kind of up on a hill, like it was.
Yeah.
Kind of
It
looks
looks
down.
just like it.
Yeah.
The town. And this
Yeah.
village, definitely they're built out, or they're building out around it, looks kind of like it could be a village.
Mhm.
They've call it like Esperanza, which is like Pueblo Esperanza, which is like the city or town of hope,
Mhm,
which I
mhm.
think is cool.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side, where the Dino Institute is now, and the dig is, where what is the ride? Dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
It's
Just
just called
dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Don't act
Mhm.
like you don't know what dinosaur
I know,
is.
right? I know. It's that is going to become Indiana Jones, which It's going to use the same ride vehicles, but it's going to be a brand new story, similar to what they have in California, but a different storyline.
Totally different. Yeah.
Hopefully a
Which
little
I'm
less
excited
bumpy,
about.
little less whiplash.
A little less bumpy.
Less jerky.
Yeah. And the way that, and this is also supposed to take place in South America, which is how it ties into the tropical Americas. And you're supposed to be searching for a rumored mythical creature. We're not sure what the mythical creature is. Maybe the chupacabra. Who knows? Because that's the South American mythical creature I know. So it'll be really interesting to see how that ties into, you know, because like when you're going on Everest, you're looking for the mythical creature of the Yeti, right? And this is going to be like a South American version of a mythical creature that you're, you know, hunting for. So I think it totally fits within the Animal Kingdom's theme. And I think it fits really well. In the announcement, they were talking about how what are the creatives at Disney? Imagineers just returned from their trip to South America, gathering like materials and and all their inspiration, and they're really excited to like put the same love and dedication that they put in to the rest of Animal Kingdom into this area. And I love that.
Cool. And it's such a big space. That whole area back there is a massive space when you think about square footage wise, how much you can fit in that area. So if they
do
really,
a lot with that.
if they really make this immersive with the colors and the greenery and all of that, it's going to be pretty spectacular for sure.
I think so too. I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah.
All right. So should we move to Epcot? So Epcot, as everybody knows, formerly known as Walcott. Over the summer, I went right after they brought the walls down, and it was actually really nice.
I know.
Right? I like what they did. It's not quite what they initially planned, but, you know, pandemic changed some of their development and the buildings that they did behind in Future World there behind Spaceship Earth. That being said, I think they're going to try to make up for it a little bit and bring some things. That being said, I will talk. The first thing, I went the day after they closed Test Track on my last trip, which is set to reopen in 2025. This is going to be Test Track 3.0. Still being sponsored by Chevy or Chevrolet. I think that this new version is going to have some throwback and theming that is really going to honor the legacy of this building to the Horizons ride that was originally in this building. Horizons, right? Am I saying, is that the...
that
used to be there? And I think it's going to be fun. We'll see what happens. It's currently a construction site. This is one of the few projects we're talking about today where the ground has already been broken. Not that it needs to be broken, but like they've actually already started all the work. And we'll see this some point next year. So I'm excited. So in 25, we're getting a reopening of an existing ride and a new nighttime show in reality.
So get ready.
25 is, and then we're also going to get in 2025, if you want to go ahead and talk about this, Dana, what's coming into Epcot also in 25?
So
equally
new
exciting.
Lounges.
This is up there with
this
Villains
is a big
Land.
announcement. Everybody hold on to your hats because this one's a big one. 2 new lounges are set to come in 2025. They're going to be themed, which, you know, Disney always does a theme very well. So it's going to be inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean and Spaceship Earth. Obviously not in the same lounge, but 2 separate lounges. Now the question is, are these DVC or will they be for everyone, and where are they going?
So I don't know exactly. So the rumor is that this is going in the Pirates League area near Pirates of the Caribbean. So the pirate themed one, the Pirates of the Caribbean themed one. So
over
it looks
by
like there's
Tortuga
across the way there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other one, Epcot. This is going in the building on the, you know, when you come out of Spaceship Earth downstairs, and you know there's like the old interactive, like at the time seemed super futuristic, and now they're like, oh my gosh, these are super lame. Yeah, like it's just like VR now blows all that stuff away, and that needs to be updated. But upstairs above that is where they're putting this lounge, and this lounge, from my understanding, is not going to be DVC, but it is going to be, I think, available to be like reserved by groups, but also open when it's not being used for groups as firework, like premium firework views.
Oh yeah, like a dessert party thing.
Exactly. So I think they're going to utilize this space for that. And then maybe it's just a regular lounge during the day. I think that both of these items here will be used to maximize their square footage for their revenue per square foot. You know, I think that's their goal here.
I'm honestly still waiting on the Spaceship Earth redo that was supposed to be done 2020, and I'm still upset about it. Like, I'm bitter. Like, we made a trip to Disney just to ride it one last time before they supposedly shut it down. And now I've gone 50,000 times since then, and I've ridden it every time. And I'm like, I keep waiting on them to say that
it's not going to happen anytime soon.
It'd be so easy to do, though. I don't understand why they
full overhaul.
They need a full overhaul. That's what I'm saying.
Even just the technology side of things, replace like the interactive elements with newer, updated technology. Add a new final scene. But like, you don't need to change the Phoenician scene. You don't need to change the scene where we first learned about like computers or the printing press or all of those things. You could leave those pretty much intact. And if you want, bring Judi Dench back to,
or maybe
update
don't.
I love Judi Dench.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to say maybe get somebody, I don't know, Taylor Swift.
I almost did a spit take of my coffee there. I was not expecting Taylor Swift.
What's the biggest draw that's going to draw in crowd to Spaceship Earth? I mean, who's bigger on the planet right now in the entertainment industry than Taylor Swift? I'm just saying.
What does Taylor Swift have to do with communication?
She communicates to thousands and thousands of people every single day.
If it was based on like music, then yes. Okay. We'll agree to disagree on this one.
Disney can find a way to tie it in.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hate mail can be addressed to Dana at no, just kidding.
Swifties would love it.
They 100%. That would become there would be a long line for many years to get on that ride.
Or Tom Hanks or something, like maybe we need a man's voice.
Tom Hanks could be good. It used to be Walter Cronkite years ago.
Yeah, so I'm saying maybe they kind of gone back and forth.
See, that's a good idea. Tom Hanks.
You're welcome.
It's way better than Taylor Swift as a recommendation.
Think of all the people who love Taylor Swift.
Think of all the people, all the generations that love Tom Hanks.
Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson would be good.
Oh, Sam Jackson would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would have a very soothing nap time voice.
Yeah, that is my nap time ride.
I know. Me too. It's air conditioning. It's dark. Slow moving.
It's perfect. Yeah. The back half, especially when there's not really a story going on anymore.
Oh, you're going down backwards? It leans for your head to go back. I mean, you just don't have anywhere else to put your head except back.
It's so good. That's the best. All right. So that's going to wrap up Disney World. We have some more announcements that came out of D23 for Disneyland Park and California Adventure. I feel like California Adventure, aside from Magic Kingdom, got the most love at D23. It has a ton of announcements. And to lead us off on this first one, Megan, go ahead and talk to us what the first thing. And this is huge.
Yeah. It is huge. So Avengers Campus is set to double in size. I mean, it's already pretty large if you think about it. To think that it's going to double is amazing. So this construction is set to start, rumor has it, beginning of next year, 2025. So that is exciting. So with this new expansion, guests will soon be able to embark on a multi-world adventure in Avengers Infinity Defense, battling against heroes like Thor, Black Panther, against menacing King Thanos. So it will be a lot of fun. For those seeking a more high-flying experience, Stark Flight Lab will offer a simulated flight experience with guests piloting two-person pods through various maneuvers. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait to see what they do. Doubling in size is huge, so it's going to be fun to see all that they add.
Yeah. And I don't know what they're doing with these, what ride vehicles they're going to be using for these. Do you guys know what they're going to be? Have you heard rumors?
No.
Not on this one.
I mean, I know the vehicle, it's like an arm for the Stark Flight Lab one. So that'll be interesting. That, I think, was the technology they were initially going to use for the ride where you were like flying on your like jetpacks. So now I think it's going to be like a flight lab. So maybe it's less of going on a intergalactic adventure. And then this next one, it looks like you're in a vehicle of some sort. I don't know.
Is it the Monsters one is like a flight thing too? I wonder if it's going to be similar.
Yeah, but that one is
technology.
that's like a suspended ride,
Yeah, but
Right.
I wonder if it
right?
will
Like
That'd
a
be
be
roller, that's a roller
suspended, but
coaster.
you'll
That's a roller
be,
coaster. No, but if you look at
yeah,
the images here, it's like they start on the ground. The arms are like moving along on the ground and then probably go
yeah.
into
Let
the
me see
show
this.
building. So I
Yeah.
don't know exactly how that's going to work, and we'll throw it up here on the video. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I think it has a
Mhm.
lot of potential to be a lot of fun. The Infinity Defense, bringing back Thanos. He's like the most popular bad guy of all of
Yep.
the MCU. Bringing him back like another version of him. Some may call it lazy. Some may call it exciting. Who knows? Lots happening with Marvel. They're doubling their size, and this is starting in 25. So my guess, if the expansion is set to begin next year, then I'm guessing 28
Yeah.
is my best guess.
But it's promising if they're saying beginning 2025, that means permits have already been filed and approved and
Right.
all of
The
that.
ball's
So that
rolling.
means, that
Yeah.
it's actively going. The fact that they're giving us that start date, which is just
Well,
really
yeah.
honestly in a few months.
Well, Disneyland has, they just had that massive approval from Anaheim to expand and move beyond like their existing areas and be able to, put parks in where parking lots are, like, and what's it called, stand forward or whatever. And it's like over the next 10 years, they're going to be doing billions of dollars of expansion right there. And I'm very excited to see what they do. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we'll have to make a trip for sure.
Yeah. So the next one I'll cover real quick. It's another ride coming to California Adventure, and the construction is not slated to begin until 2026. So this, is going to be another one of those staged expansions that's happening there. At Disneyland's California Adventure is set to immerse guests in a vibrant land of Pixar's Coco. An all-new attraction will transport visitors to the land of the dead alongside Miguel, featuring beloved characters and music from the film. This groundbreaking experience will feature the first ever Coco ride at a Disney park. Drawing inspiration from classic attractions like Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, Walt Disney Imagineering will bring the film's skeletal cast to life through cutting-edge audio animatronic technology. This is perfect from like an AI perspective, or an audio animatronic AA. I think this is fun. I think this is like,
it's long
it's going
overdue,
to be cool.
really.
Yeah, it'll be really, really good. And especially in California, the Latino population, particularly the Mexican population there, is, so much more than in Florida. It makes sense to bring the Coco themed ride to Southern California and then bring the Tropical Americas, the South America themed section, to Florida.
Yeah.
But my wife, being from South America, is going to eat up. She already loves Animal Kingdom, so she is going to love a
You'll
new
never get her
area
out of there.
themed to South America, right? She's going to love that.
Yeah.
And then for like all of my Mexican friends in California, they love Coco. They do the whole Dia de los Muertos celebration there every year in October in the back section of the park. I think this is a perfect tie-in. What is it called? The Plaza de la Familia in the back, I think, is where they do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's genius.
California Adventure has been kind of light too. I mean, a lot of our guests, I'm sure you guys can speak to this too. If they're doing a 3-day ticket and don't do park hopper, most will do 2 days at Disneyland and 1 day California Adventure. So I think this expansion is really going to bring more and more people into California Adventure Park.
I can see that.
And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop at doing a new Coco ride. It doesn't stop at doubling the Avengers campus. Please, Dana, tell us what else they're adding.
They're
to
adding
California Adventure.
A whole all new Pandora experience. So if you have been to Disney World and you have been to Pandora, you know how awesome this is. Inspired by Avatar sequels. It's going to transport guests to the breathtaking and dangerous landscapes of Pandora, embark on an epic adventure, exploring majestic natural wonders, and encountering the awe-inspiring beauty of this alien planet. This expansion promises to be dynamic and thrilling experience, delivering the scale and intensity worthy of the iconic Avatar franchise. Now, the ride appears to be using similar technology as what's in as Shanghai's Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Goodness gracious, that's a lot of words.
Sorry about
So
that.
similar technology. So similar technology to Shanghai Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
And if you look at this artwork that we're going to put up right here, you can see the ride, and you see like the giant. Those are like those giant screens. And if you look through a ride through of the Pirates of the Caribbean technology that they use in Shanghai, it's spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited to see what they do with that technology here in the U.S. And I think this is an exciting expansion.
Yeah, this is a big space too. This is going to be a lot to explore, on a trip. And like you're saying, Megan, you may even need 2 days in California Adventure.
Exactly.
To explore all of this. I mean, this is going to be a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time.
All of these expansions, and these are only what they've announced now. There's other rumors of even more expansion coming to the Disneyland parks beyond these expansions that they're willing to officially announce. And I think it's dangerous to announce things too far out.
Yeah.
Because then inevitably they change. People lose interest like all the plans they had for Epcot that had to be curtailed because of the pandemic.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen. So I think it's smart that they're announcing like the next 4 or 5 years worth of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I think like that 2030 and beyond, they'll be announcing over the next couple years. But man, I'm very excited to all the things that are coming to California Adventure. I mean, to California Adventure. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We have one last D23 story, and this is going to be from Disneyland. Megan, go ahead and take it away. Disneyland Park, not just California.
Yes. So Disneyland is set to unveil a groundbreaking tribute to its visionary founder, Mr. Walt Disney. So in 2025, guests will have the extraordinary opportunity to encounter Walt Disney himself through an innovative audio animatronics figure in a new attraction titled Walt Disney, A Magical Life. So in this unprecedented experience, it will transport visitors to Walt's office, offering a glimpse into the mind of the creative genius himself. As a fitting homage to Walt's pioneering work in audio animatronics, the attraction will initially reside in Main Street Opera House, which I think is a great spot for it, before sharing the space with great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
So what's really cool about where it'll eventually end up is they're going to put him on a turntable. Mm-hmm. And so like one show is going to be Walt, and then it'll go to the next to be Abraham Lincoln, the great moments with Abraham Lincoln, with Mr. Lincoln. I think this is so cool that the Disney family has licensed his likeness, back to the parks. And it's going to be cool. They've done it recently at like a D23 or another like fan event where they did a hologram of him. Mm-hmm. But now with AI, you can get that voice so close to his own voice. You just feed an AI all of his recordings for all these years, and then it can reproduce whatever you want it to say, which is creepy, but also very cool for this purpose, mm-hmm. And I think it'll be a neat way to, kind of pay homage to him, like you said. And I think it'll be a fun thing. I love how far they've been able to come with audio animatronics too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little, it's a little creepy to me.
Is it too creepy for you? Dana's like not sold on it.
I don't know.
Megan, yeah.
I think in theory it's creepy, but I think when we're there in person, I think, he is iconic. And to be able to see him in real life, which we've never been able to do, at least in recent times.
We haven't. People our age.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a great new attraction.
I think it'll be good. I hope it goes over well. Because I have seen some rumblings in the community. So,
just let him.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I saw something that the family didn't love, some aspects of it that they were mentioning. I hope that it's done, if anybody's going to do it respectively, it will be the Walt Disney Company and the Imagineers. Right. But I just hope that it's done respectively. And I hope that it's done well and not like really quickly put together. Like, I hope it's just really thought-provoked.
Well done.
Yeah, and just really well done. Like a highest quality they've ever given anything. They need to put that into
And I think that hopefully that the Imagineers know that they can't mess this up.
No, they would be.
Because,
they would be bashed by the community.
Because like sometimes, the audio animatronics of like presidents.
The presidents, exactly.
Like new presidents, you're like, ooh, that does not look like the actual president.
Correct.
Hopefully this looks exactly
impeccable.
Yes,
with the
like him.
technology, the fact they've never attempted this before, we are in, an advanced society. So I'm hoping that, and even in a few more years, technology is just going to continue to evolve. So even,
Well, this is coming soon. This is 25.
yeah.
This is next
So maybe
year.
they've been working on
Yeah.
it. Maybe they've been working on
I
it
think
for
they
a
have.
while.
We'll see.
They've been waiting on this AI stuff to kind
All
of
right.
evolve.
So before we wrap up the episode, I want to ask each of you what you're out of all of these, you have to pick one thing you're most looking forward to out of everything. Come on, you knew this question was coming. One. Okay, two. All right. I'll go first. I
he
could
doesn't
say
have one.
I have one immediately.
Just one. Okay, which
Just one?
What's your number one?
Oh,
Yeah.
Villain's Land.
Yeah.
Villain's Land, I think,
too.
is everybody's
Yeah.
number one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond Villain's Land, mine probably will be Tropical Americas in Animal Kingdom. I think that has, with Indiana Jones and Encanto, I think that space is, like you said, so big. It has a lot of opportunity to really transport you like the rest of Animal Kingdom does. Like when you're in Asia or you're in Harambe in Africa, like those areas are so immersive. I'm hoping that they do the same level of detail in Tropical Americas.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's between that and like I think Cars and the Cars section and the Monsters Inc. area are kind of equal for me. So, but I feel like that the Tropical Americas nudges those two things just a little bit.
I mean, it's such a big land,
It
I
is.
think it has the most potential beyond Villain's Land.
Yeah.
And Megan, you agree with that, or where are you at? If not Villain's Land,
if not Villain's Land, I'm similar to Dana in the sense that Cars rides coming to Disney World in Florida is a huge draw to me. I just love what they've done in California. But also, I think the expansion for California Adventure Park. I'm on the West Coast. I can drive to Disneyland, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
So I am thrilled about the expansion and all that's to come there.
Yeah, that's true. That's hard for me to even think about Disneyland because I'm just like so focused on World because I'm driving distance to World. So
exactly.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, on that note, as you could probably tell listening, and you've been with us for the last 50 minutes, we're very excited about all these announcements. There's so many things to come so soon. It's a little overwhelming. We're super excited about it. As more information comes out, we'll give little news pops here and there. And I think it's going to do it. If you enjoyed this episode, we would appreciate a like and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts, or a 5-star review if you feel so led. Additionally, we would love to know what you're most excited about. Head over to Facebook, do a search for the Where We Roam podcast, and give us your feedback. Where are you, or what are you most excited about? Are you most excited about Villain's Land? Cool. So is everybody else. What are you secondly most excited about? We want to know that as well. All right. On that note, thank you again, and we will see you real soon. Bye-bye.